What's up, YouTube? This is Tank from Tank-N-Spank, obviously, and I'm coming at you with another video. Unfortunately, this is not my Friday special, as I normally wanted to start was Friday videos, and that's because obviously Palworld come out Friday, and it has consumed my life for this, at least this weekend, pretty heavily. This is what I've been playing, so I thought it would be fun to just do an impressions video about what I like about Palworld and what I think can be improved going forward for this game, because I think the game has a very good baseline of a game. It's the core components are really fun, but there are some things that I think could make it a little bit better. So let's just jump into my world here, and just, again, don't worry. The background here is just, let me turn it down. It's just fluff. You don't have to keep up with anything. This is just my guy. This is my camp so far. What I got set up. Obviously, I pushed past the. And we just randomly get arrows. We have pushed past the opening area down a little deeper. I've killed the first boss that the tutorial wants you to kill. So I'm not like too far into the game. I've caught a lot of pal mines, or I call them pal mines because it's adorable. I just call them little pal mines. But this is just kind of a starter little base I found. I've been playing with my buddy. He's kind of scouted this little area out for us. When I was trying to decide, see, it's kind of buggy. It is kind of buggy. Just be aware. Just be aware. It is early access. So you do run into bugs, but it doesn't hamper any gameplay. Not in my opinion. But we come across this little area whenever we were scouting. Oh, hold on. And I'm gonna try to give you guys a little bird's eye view of our little camp here that I built up. He hasn't done much building outside of like little add-ons, like this thing over here, the ranch. He built the ranch, and a lot of the little like the egg hatcheries for us, little things like that. Before it's the buildings, and this little thing over here, I built this, and I built this little battery we're setting up over here. Things of that nature is what I've been working on, and he's been adding on other little tidbits that we need. But I need to get this guy out real quick, and I got it kind of set where it don't. Right now, it don't really cost too much stamina to do what I'm gonna do. Now, if you play on normal or hard, of course you won't be able to just fly up here and do this shit because your stamina is draining. But for the sake of this video, I did knock down some of the settings, so I could just talk about it and just leave them up here in this nice little bird's eye view. I'm just gonna give you a quick little look at my camp that we got started. Anyway, we found this castle when we were probably back over towards the beginning area, wherever you start at, and just a little bit down the road. And we built up pretty big, a nice little forward base, and we were contemplating where we want to go next. And he happened to find this ruined castle, and we thought it would be really cool just to build this castle up as our base of operations. And the plan now is I can build multiple bases. So I'm going to move another base down here and build this section out next. And this is where we're going to kind of operate in this early game, because we are still kind of in the early game. Because all I have done is killed the first boss and went around the world just finding little fast travel points throughout the map, which, as you can tell, there's plenty of places I haven't been. This map's pretty big, so we're still exploring. But anyway, that's just the base. So what is Palmon? Well, if you're like me, well, Palworld, sorry. What is Palworld? If you're like me, you thought you was gonna get this cute, adorable little Pokemon with guns kind of game, where you just train up Pokemon and you give them guns, virtually Pokemon anyway. And you give them guns, this, that, and the third. And yes, that is here, but that is not the core gameplay element of Palworld. Palworld at its core is a survival game, base building, however you want to say it. It's like Ark, it's like Valheim. It's of that nature, of that genre at its core gameplay loop. You go out, you get materials, you cut down trees, bust up rocks, get ore. You collect different organic material from these pals. For example, if you want to make ammo, you have to go find pal oil, which I just discovered where it's at, so I actually can make ammo. I'm working on making me some guns now. I have got to where I can make a basic pistol. I'm still rocking this nice crossbow, so I like it. But essentially, that's what you're going to be doing. You're surviving in this world. And to me, in my opinion, it's a beautiful world. I like the graphic style, I like the art style. And the game obviously rips off a lot of other games. Like, when you first come in this game, you're like, oh damn, I'm playing Zelda. This feels like Breath of the Wild when you come out that first little temple, and then the user interface pops up, and it's really, really Breath of the Wild. Every time you have a fast travel point, find a new location on the map, it's very, very Breath of the Wild. If you play Breath of the Wild, it's going to stand out. Our heat and our cold gauges at the bottom, that's ripped out from Breath of the Wild. So it takes inspiration from a lot of different games, but it has its own little niche in my own belief, because all these pals you see running below us here, they're all doing certain jobs in my camp right now. Some of them are tending to fields. We got one, they're getting me wool. We got another one that got some berry fields. They'll come harvest berries. And that's kind of where it sets itself apart, because these pals, they kind of play a very pivotal role in your base of operations and your day-to-day activities. So they can kind of make your whole base just run itself, really, and you just come and feed your pals, making sure they're happy, because they do have like gauges. I think if we go down in here, we can see the gauges. Yeah, you see up there to the in the corner, it says he has broken a bone, so looks like he's got a sprain. Then you got one in good condition, hard work, seems to be a good worker, in good condition. All this stuff is really cool. It's really what makes this game fun to play to me, because all those other monotonous tasks that you normally have to do in most survival games, this one has a way to automate all of those processes, and it's with the pals. And each pal is unique and has its own set of skills that may lend itself to different aspects of your base. For example, you see that flame thing, the little flame Eevee there, as I call it. If I want to make some ores on that little smelter there, it will go and blow fire for me. It will heat up that smelter, and it will, in a sense, just continuously make as many ores as I got in that smelter. So I can go off, I can go and do my own thing, I can have fun, maybe go cut down some trees, slay some syndicate, maybe free a pal that's been kidnapped by the syndicate that you can come into contact with. If you find their camps, they have some camps throughout the game world, and it's just little events like that you can come across and get some free pals. But by the time I come back, normally he's done with, or that's a she is done with that task, and I can collect all my ores and put them in my camp, and bada bing, bada boom, I can use them when I need them. Now, this is all good. Like I said, the core gameplay is fun, but there are some things in which I think they need to improve. Well, I'm hoping they improve, I should say. I hope it gets improved as the game goes forward, because let's jump off this thing. He's hungry, obviously. There is fall damage, by the way. Just be aware there is fall damage. I tested it. I tested it, and yeah, it sucks. So, does this game have fall damage? Your question has been answered with yes. I just need to feed this guy real quick, and then we'll continue. I don't want him to fall over on me. to feed him to. All right, let's put our shit back because that's what I feed them. They're on a berry diet around here. Now, there's some things that I think they can improve on going forward with this game. Ultimately, it's a fun game for what it is. It's sold, I think, by this point, 2 million units. I don't know what he's doing, having the time of his life. So I think it's sold 2 million units, and that's great. I hope this game actually goes off and actually has a successful actual launch of this game. Unlike, I think, Craftopia was the last game they did. I'm pretty sure that game is still in early access and not really complete yet as of yet. So we have moved on to this game, which is a red flag. In my mind, that's a red flag. Like, why is your other property not in a launch state? Why are we moving on to another project? And this is the project that they've moved on to, which, to be fair, this project is a really good project, and I want them to complete this project. But just note that it is early access from a team that has other early access games that are still not complete. So take that for what you will. Now, how I think this game, they need to improve on some aspects. Obviously, the first thing is the interface, controller interface anyway. If I run up to, say, this thing, I'm just going to show you real quick. That's another reason I wanted to have my game running. You see in the boxes, there's nothing there, nothing at all. Don't tell me what it is. It don't tell me what I'm supposed to press, what key input. Now, I've been playing long enough. I've learned the key inputs for the controller. I don't know which one. Yeah, fast travel's B. Okay, but it's blank. Now, if I can click my mouse, obviously my mouse, the keyboard mouse interface comes right up. But I play these games with controller. I like controller more than keyboard and mouse. I always have, always will. Any chance I get, I play with keyboard. No, not keyboard. I play with controller in hand because it's more comfortable. I can lay back. I can enjoy my game a lot more. For me, it's more of a accessibility thing where it's just a lot more comfortable for me to play with a controller. I don't really care for keyboard and mouse. I've pretty much gotten rid of my keyboard and mouse with all my PC games that allow me to. There's certain ones like Guild Wars 2 for some reason won't get rid of keyboard and mouse support, even though it could easily support controller, and a couple other MMOs. But that's not what this is about. The point is, the interface is broken on PC when you need these inputs. Now, if you switch over to Xbox, these inputs are filled in, which is kind of weird because it's using the same thing. This is the Game Pass version on PC, and I play the Game Pass version on Xbox, and that user interface isn't broken on Xbox. So why is it broken on PC? If anyone has a fix for this, let me know, because I don't know. I've tried to fix it. This is just what I deal with. I've learned all the button prompts. I know what buttons I need to hit to do whatever I need to do at this point. Now, another thing that may have been explained, because they really expect you to use this survival guide a lot to understand different aspects about the game, which is fine for this to be here. This is a good tool to keep in the game, but I am a fan of show us and not telling us. The tutorial in this game is atrocious. It's terrible. I think it's something that they can improve upon going forward into a full launch. I hope it improves, because while this is cool, I could go through all this and look through all this. Your tutorial should set your players up to understand the rules of the game, basically. I say that because this little aspect here, disassembling, I did not know how to disassemble for the longest fucking time. Like, to break shit down and get all my items back for what I made. I don't remember the game ever telling me how to do that. It may have, and I might have just been ADD and just skipped through it. But I went the longest time not even knowing how to do this little feature right here. Just to break stuff down that I've already put. Excuse me. So, like, now, see, if I want to, I can just go, you know what, I just want to disassemble this. Give me back my stuff. I got the hiccups. It's a bad time for the hiccups. So, I'm sorry, guys. All right. So, with that being said, I think that the game should have a tutorial section when it comes to base building. It teaches you like how to use these functions. Like it has you actually open and actually put something down and destroy something. Just tighten up that tutorial. Show and don't tell. That's all I'm wanting from the tutorial. It's just show and don't tell. Another thing that they didn't really tell you about, that if you don't really just happen across it like I did, and if they do tell you about it, it might be in this survival guide again. We can look at it real quick. But that is the effigies. Let's see if they got anything about the effigies in here. I don't know if they do. They might see like this. There's a crime system. I didn't know there's a crime system because I don't really shoot the NPCs if I see them. But yeah, okay. So I don't really see anything about the effigies. So basically, the effigies. Let me see. I think I got one near us. So yeah, there's one right there. See, perfect. That worked out. That worked out. I swear I didn't plan this. This just happened to work out. So this is an effigy in the game. Uh-oh. I hit the wrong button. Sometimes I do that. This is an effigy. You kind of notice them from, think about in the Breath of the Wild when you complete a dungeon. You could get one of those special little things. And you pick it up. So we got a life monk effigy. And you're like, okay. I collected them for the longest time, by the way. In this, in the first day I was going through, I didn't know what the fuck they were. I was just give them to me. But if you look on the map, there will be. See if I can find one. I know I ran across one. One of these would be a church because there's a couple different churches in the game. It's very when you first see one, it is very it's very Elden Ringy. Maybe it's just not called church as far as the little teleportation points. But I remember one was like Church of Desolation or something like that, or Church of Archipelago. It was something along those but they're all across the game world that I found. I found like maybe 3 different churches. And inside these churches, there's like a Lucaria looking statue. And you can give that Lucaria statue your effigies and either upgrade your catching power. I believe it's your catching power, or you can upgrade the power of one of your pals. And that's really cool. That's a cool feature that I wish I would have known about earlier. But it's just something I had to discover organically. Which, I mean, you could make an argument that is really cool to discover that organically. Now that I'm really thinking about it, because that's like something I discovered and I didn't know about. It took me back in the day when you used to play on these like PS1 games that didn't tell you shit, and you just had to play the game. So I might be being a little too hard on it because of how conditioned we are to the modern gaming scene, where everything is just tells us what this does, what this does, what this does. So yeah, I do think it still should be included in that tutorial. What these little effigies are for, because not everybody likes that organic exploration and just holding on to these things, wondering what they are. Now, if you're probably going to get mad if you're in that camp, there's like, no, you don't want that kind of hand holding. And I understand where you're coming from, but a lot of kids are probably going to play this game just from the outset of it. It looks like a Pokemon game. Should they be playing this game? I don't know. It's pretty violent. But they're going to play it and they're not going to understand. And this day and age, kids are pretty hungry. Pretty hungry. They get bored. They got a TikTok mindset. If you don't explain a system to them, they won't even bother trying to figure out that system. So it should just be in your tutorial what these effigies are, or not. If you don't want to show, like, if you don't want to like create a little quest line where you take the effigy and you say collect, I think it's 3 effigies, and then it takes you to a church. Then I think that could be a good way to work that in. Like, make it like a side quest that you can kind of undertake. That's another thing I would like them to implement further down the line, of course, with this game. I think it would be really cool if it took the Medieval Dynasty approach. If you play Medieval Dynasty, it's a survival game, much like regular survival games in the genre, but you actually get quests and there's NPCs and there's different avenues of gameplay in Medieval Dynasty. To me, Medieval Dynasty is one of the best survival games in my opinion. You can take that for what it is, but to me it's really cool. You can meet NPCs, they give you quests, you can get married, you can build a house, you can build a city, you can do all this really fucking cool shit in Medieval Dynasty with a world that feels like it's living and breathing, which is what I would like to see happen for this game. Like in the future, you don't have to build them all over the place, but build like little cities like Pokemon has. This is obviously very inspired by Pokemon, so take some of the good aspects that I do like from Pokemon and add to this game. Add like little cities here and there that you can come in, like if you're out and about. Because, spoiler alert, your bosses in this game are basically gym leaders. I mean, if you really want to bullet down, when you meet them, they're like edgelord gym leaders. And there's really cool little opening cutscenes when you engage them, and they're really fun battles in my opinion. I enjoyed it for what it was, for the little bare bones, I guess not bare bones system. We'll get into combat in a minute. But you just enjoyed it for what it was. Now, what I would like to see as more of these bosses come online, we get more bosses in the game. Let's add some cities to kind of fill in that gap when you're exploring from one edge of the map to the next edge of the map. You can have like little NPCs in there to sell you. You ain't got to sell us like overpowered stuff, but you can sell us like little food. You can sell us like stuff for our Palmon to top them up. Stuff like that, just stuff we can stop in. Like, oh, I'm gonna run out of food before I get to this tower, so I can just, instead of going out here and having to find a fucking chickadoo for my chicken to make some meal, I can just stop into this little tavern, pick up some already pre-made meals, eat the meals, and continue on about my way. And even further down the road on your roadmap, add more quests that maybe we can pick up and do in the game. I understand this is a survival game, but just because you're a survival game, you do not have to be entrenched in those old survival logic. I think a lot of survival games have kind of pushed into that RPG territory as well. So there's no reason I don't think we could not have more NPCs, more towns, more quests, more things to do in the open world. That's why this is an impressions. This is not a review. Because I'm contrary to what I'm saying, I'm enjoying what the game is here. That's why I said the core of this game, the core gameplay loop they have right now is fun. But going forward, I don't think it's going to hold that attention, that retention rate you want to see in your game. Now, of course, I'm assuming in the future they're going to be bringing more pals online. There's going to be more designs. Right now, a lot of the designs are blatant rip-off of Pokemon, basically. I mean, it's very, 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 very close. It's very close. It's teetering on infringement. But they got away with it, I guess. But it would be cool in the future to have more unique designs, more designs to give it its own identity. Right now, it does kind of have its own identity, but it's not completely there. It's getting there. It's getting real close. And dude, you can fucking shoot Pokemons with fucking machine guns. It doesn't get any better than that. And I feel like I haven't unlocked the sword, because if we go to our technology tree right now, the melee combat is pretty bad. I just want to be honest, it's very bare bones right now. The melee combat is not the best way to experience this game, and I don't think it was ever meant to be. Because I have the stun baton, but I think when you get down to, I think it's like 44. Yeah, 44, we do get a sword, which I'm sure it's just more the same animation. It's just you're using a fucking sword, which is okay. It's cooler than a fucking baton. But at the same time, you get pump shotguns, you get machine guns. You're going to have these motherfuckers around your base. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the game is more inclined to range combat because I get the most fun out of using my crossbow. Anyway, it's just arrows. Arrows are a pain in the ass to craft. I'll show you what I'm talking about. When you go to let's use, this is my high quality workbench. The fire arrows, they can be 5 at a time. These arrows, it's 1 at a time. It's like Why can't I just bulk craft these? Is there a way to bulk craft them? Because if there is, I don't know how to bulk craft them. So I can put 122 arrows on this little thing right here. And I guess the best way to do it would be, you could just like throw him there, and then he'll start crafting for you, and you could just go off and fuck off, I guess, while he's doing all the work. Or you can sit here and you can help him craft 121 arrows, right? But why can't they be bulk crafted? They need to add a bulk craft method into the game. It shouldn't be too hard to do. There should be like up under the hold X portion. Well, not even that. Really, whenever you put your quantity down, it should recognize how many you put down. So I put 121. Even if you don't want to craft all 121 in one sitting, break it down in sets of 10 or break it down in sets of 5. If you want to do that, this one at a time bullshit, you got to change. This is just tedious, it's dumb, and it takes up. It's just a time sink that I don't really care. I don't see the need for whenever I just showed you when you go to fucking fire arrows, you got 5. So why don't this arrow go to 5? And I looked through my technology. I'm pretty sure I haven't overlooked anything. I just think it's just a oversight when it comes to the regular arrows. So hopefully that gets addressed. All in all, the stability of the game has been pretty much on point. I run a 3080. I'll just have a 3080 in this machine. I don't experience any issues with performance. I even got it set to the max number of pals on screen that the game can show. Of course, this is the Xbox client, so I heard that the Xbox client is a little bit behind the Steam client. If you want to play the game, I think the Steam is a couple patch cycles ahead of the Xbox client for whatever reason. I don't know the reason. See, this is why I kind of like, when I upped how many pals are on screen at one time, I get roving packs of pals, and there's always combat going on in my world now. My world feels a little bit more alive since I can actually change the amount of pals that I see periodically as I travel this world. Beforehand, there wasn't that many. It wasn't showing as many as I was hoping for. So the world felt kind of empty. You would only see like 2 at a time, or they'd be spread out a little more. There wasn't big roving packs of pals. And I like my games to have roving packs of enemies. It always makes it feel more fun. Especially whenever you get attacked from the sky by the things I'm flying on. They just swoop down and start attacking me. So it made for an intense encounter, especially since I didn't have any kind of arrows anymore. But again, I was stuck with, I got this. I got the stun baton now. I was using a metal spear at the time. I don't know which one's better. I don't like the combat animations for the metal spear. When you play the game, the regular spear you actually have a thrust with, and the metal spear, for some reason, he just switches to this overhand art, just like this fucking thing here. I don't know if that's a bug. I don't know what's the deal with that, but you don't thrust with the metal spear. I think I still have it here. And just so you guys know I ain't bullshitting you, I will show it to you in action. And this is why I quit using it. If I would also forget that I can, oh my god, I can just hit Y to actually fucking automatically equip stuff. So we can just go ahead and equip that real quick. It's actually a lot stronger than my stun baton, really. So that's a 10. This thing bitch is a 35. Look. Oh man, look at there. Now he's fucking thrusting with. Oh, that's the stone spear. Oh, I was about to shit my britches. Boys. Damn, the stone spear is strong as fuck. Let me see if let me find, there's the metal spear. Well, I can actually show this off too, if you haven't played the game or if you hadn't even noticed. Alright, so this is the stone spear. It gives you good reach. I like it. Stone spear is perfect. Switch to the metal spear, and he starts swinging like that. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is he swinging like that? Why can't we go to thrust? It don't help if you zoom in. So let me show you with the mouse. Let me switch back to PC controls. Same thing. So I don't know if that's a bug or if that's just how it's supposed to go down, but that's what happens. Why is I should fuck this little thing? This bitch is using 10. Oh man, let's just use a spear. But that's just one of the things that I don't understand, why that motion changed to like a sweeping motion. You can't go back to thrusting motion. I'm hoping it's a bug and that's something they can fix in the future, because the spear thrust was actually the better way to play the game. I don't like that little fucking douche, that little swinging motion. This makes combat really tedious. But with that said, that's not how I feel like the game is supposed to be played. How I think the game is supposed to be played is actually on the back of a PAL. Because this is the most fun I have with the game, is when I get on the back of a PAL and I just start using skills. Like when you fight that first boss and she's on the back of her PAL, and you can just like start summoning skills and you just start popping off, boys. Oh no, and I blew my damn gate up. Oh shit. So I'm about to repair that. But I feel like this game is meant to be fought on the back of your PALs, because you can get some really cool little skills, and you can actually change skills just like you could in if you was playing a Pokemon game. So you could go to, just say I had more skills and I didn't want to use Ice Cutter. If I had more skills, like this one has Ice Bird, does 70 damage, right? So I could just go boom, and we got Dragon Burst. I wonder if Ice Cannon would be better. No, we'll keep. I like the Ice Missile. So, and I think you also have to jump off and then re-engage for it to actually change. You see the skills didn't change until I got off. But see, now we can summon Iceberg. It's just a nice little just a little attack. And I feel like this is probably how the game was meant to be played, is on the back of a... When you don't have a machine gun. Now, if you have a machine gun or a ranged weapon, yeah, go ahead and do that, because that's fun. But as it stands, with just this fucking thing right here, this is boring. Like, you run up on enemies, bab. This is some high intense gameplay. So maybe look at changing up the maybe adding skills we can use as well on top of our PAL skills. Or maybe if you can make it where we can actually use our PAL skills, like command them as they're fighting. For example, my favorite Pokemon game, period, like that I've played, has been Pokemon Arceus. Pokemon Arceus by far has been my favorite modern Pokemon game, where you're actually kind of like this. You're running around with your main Pokemon and you're kind of like fighting in the open world, so to speak. And you can kind of command your skills with your Pokemon off to the side. Like you can tell Pikachu to use Thunder Shock and whatnot. Of course, I use Garchomp. That's who ran around with me because he was overpowered. So I think it would be cool, like how I was like sending off commands while I was mounted. If you could somehow integrate that into the game, where I can do it if I'm unmounted. Now they'll randomly throw off these skills, of course, but just say I want Spark Kit right here to use his Thunder Wave or whatever the fuck he has to engage an enemy before they can run away. I should just be able to tell him to do that, which I can't right now. Like I can, this is why I can pet him, we can feed him, we can command don't attack, command to focus on enemy, and command aggressive nature. Now, what you could do here is you could add his skill, use on closest enemy or something like that, where he'll go off, find the closest enemy to him, which hopefully you're looking at what you want him to attack, and that's where his AI take him and he attack with his Thunderbolt or whatever the fuck he has. And then you can engage that enemy, because oftentimes a lot of these pals, especially now, are running away from me, in the open world, so we're having to. And right now I have it where I don't really use stamina to move around just for this video's sake. But whenever I'm playing with my buddy and we got it set to normal, because we play on normal, you're not really gonna catch them unless you're mounted. Which we just really got to where we have been able to mount our pals, so that's made the game a lot more fun. So this has just been my early impressions, to be honest. I think the game as it stands is definitely worth playing 100%, and I'm very excited to see hopefully where they go in the future. I can see them doing a lot, because this game really should show Nintendo that you should give your teams more power to work with, because Pokemon has run stale. The mainline series is stale. This could have been like an IP. They could have done an offshoot PC title themselves. It wouldn't have been nearly as violent, obviously, but it could have been very similar, and you could have had that officially licensed stuff. But I think this game does a lot of stuff better than what Pokemon has been doing here in the mainline series. Here recently, especially. Like I said, Arceus was the last Pokemon game that I really fell in love with, and this is more fun than Arceus to me. If they would implement some of those similar features where you can order your attacks from the ground and whatnot, and turn it into where you are directing your pals and then you're attacking with your pals, you could really create something very, very unique and very, very fun and engaging. And furthermore, adding those little cities and those extended quests we can go on, and more activities to do in the world. Right now, it's really just go to point A, point B, try to catch the pals. I think there's 111 pals you can catch total in this pal, and I don't know if that includes the Persona-like system where you can fuse your pals to make advanced pals. Multiple of the same types. It kind of changes them a little bit. So I don't know if that includes them in this list, or if this 111 is just the base pals in the game. And then those extra ones are just icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. That's still to be seen, because I haven't really messed with that. I can make it. I think this is the system that actually lets you fuse pals to make new pals. This is on my next the next list item that I'm going to make, and I plan on making this after I get done with this video, and I'm going to experiment with that system because I'm really curious. I got a couple the same type Pokemon Palmons. I call them Palmons. Same type Palmons. I'm going to push together to make and see what they make. On paper, it sounds like it's a very Persona-like fusion system. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm not familiar with that system yet. And look, he's doing my arrows good. So we will see how that works. So far, I'm enjoying the game. I think it'll be cool to add some PvP. I think the Xbox side is only 4 players. The Steam version is 32 players. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about playing. If you got Game Pass, go ahead and give it a shot. Definitely, it's free. Well, it's included in your Game Pass subscription show. So why not try it out? And if you're on the fence about buying it, I would even suggest buying the Steam copy, because it's good enough to buy just in its current state, because there's a lot of fun to be had. There's probably hundreds of hours to be had just in this early access state, with just the base building and the PAL collection and PAL fusions and all that jazz. I think you would have a good time if you like the Monster Collection game. And of course, if you like being an asshole and running around shooting up Palmons, you can do that too, because that's part of the game, man. Like, I haven't got a gun yet. We're working on it. We're going to see how the gun gameplay is. If it's like the crossbow gameplay but faster, it's going to be great, because I think, again, the crossbow is the way to play this game, or the bow gameplay. 100% the best way to play the game. Melee in this game sucks. If you don't have a pal you can ride and start shooting off skills, definitely invest in a crossbow or a bow. If there's a 3-shot bow, which I think would be cool. There's poison bow, which my buddy uses. It's very effective. I haven't fucked around with the fire bow yet. I just like the good old basic boy crossbow. So this has been my video and my thoughts about the game so far. I recommend it. I recommend going out and trying it. I could even recommend buying it. I think that this team has created something that could be lightning in a bottle if they take the right steps going from this point. You know, you got your 2 million sales. Now let's make this game really good. You could really fucking good. Oh yeah, just a quick note. Also, this is a quick note. When I was building, this has just popped in my head. When I was building this, this ain't like a pretty build or anything. I wish I had like some glass or something I could put here like an actual window. But this is all I can make right now. But like that being said, you see how this is facing this way and this is facing this way? This did not happen without me actually getting on the roof, because whenever I would rotate this piece to face this way from the ground, this is from the ground, it would snap reverse. It would be reversed the other way. So I actually had to initially, this is how the second story, this is just a funny story, how the second story become a thing. I had to come up on the roof and do it from the roof to get it to snap the right way. So that maybe need to be that should probably be looked at and try to figure out why that's happening, why you have to actually do it from the roof or from behind, why that's not snapping properly. Look into the grid snapping. There might be something going on with that. Overall, most of the bugs that we have encountered outside this interface bug is pretty bad. That would be a day one you want to get on, try to figure out why your interface isn't prompting right for controller users. On the PC side, Xbox side, like I said, Xbox side, I do have some complaints. I'm glad I talked about it because I do want to address some complaints. Like I said, just look at this. Also, the voice. I sound like a man now, but the voice will change on your character if that happens when you're playing. That's a bug. Sometimes your voice will change to a female and male, vice versa. If you're a female, it'll change to a male. If you're male, change to female. That's something that's happening on both Xbox and PC that I can confirm. So that's a bug that you guys might want to look into. On the Xbox side, the sound quality what is going on with the sound quality on the Xbox side? It is low tier sound quality. It's the worst. I started on Xbox. As soon as I heard that sound, I downloaded it on PC. I could not deal with how it sounded on Xbox. Also, I had some frame issues on Xbox. It wasn't terrible, but I did notice drops that quit as soon as I come over to PC. If you can play on PC, that's going to be the best place to play. I recommend playing on PC. If you cannot, Xbox will work. That's what my buddy is playing on. He don't have too many complaints outside the sound and the occasional FPS drop. So, with that being said, again, I recommend it. It's a fun, unique take on base building. It's a fun, unique take on monster collection games. It's a fun, unique take on survival games. I think it's going to carve out a niche of its own inside the genre that is the survival game. I have played this survival game longer than I play most survival games, so I mean that's the biggest compliment I can give this team. I think they have potential. I just really hope they look at Medieval Dynasty and see that you can create an RPG inside the survival game landscape, like a traditional survival game landscape, by building your own towns and having players build towns. Or even that, what if you could let us build towns and we can populate those towns with NPCs? We have merchants in the game. We got black market merchants in the game. So either build some pre-built towns for us to go explore, pick up quests, and go out in the world. That should be the next step on the roadmap after you fix all the bugs, obviously. That should be big picture. Or, when it ain't got to be an or, it could be an or and. We can build towns and populate towns with NPCs that bring us quests and things of that nature. And obviously, I can't wait for you guys to have more bosses, more pals. I can't wait to see where this game goes in the future. I hope they don't abandon it. I hope they stick with it, because By God, am I having a good time in this game. And with that, this has been a Tank-N-Spank special. I love you guys. I hope you guys stay safe, healthy, and all that good stuff. And you guys have a great night.